Can you believe that the healthy items at Costco, from protein bars and peanut butter to green juice, are actually banned outright in Europe? It isn't just one or two items. There are 11 products sold as health foods in the US that absolutely do not meet the standards to get on EU shelves. The reason does not lie in the brand name. It lies in restricted additives, hyperactivity-causing dyes, excessive synthetic vitamins, and even natural toxins that Europe views as unacceptable. Subscribe to the channel to get notified of the latest videos. Wow! 1. Kirkland Signature Protein Bars. When mentioning protein bars, many people immediately think of a convenient, nutritious, and safe choice. Especially with the Kirkland logo on the packaging, a sense of peace of mind comes almost instantly. But the truth behind this seemingly harmless snack makes many experts in Europe shake their heads. Inside every protein bar are two synthetic sweeteners that Europe has banned or requires warnings for: sucralose and acesulfame potassium. These substances do not just provide sweetness. They can disrupt the gut microbiome, affect insulin responses, and cause the body to react in ways users never suspect. High fiber content is also a point that makes people mistake this for a good choice. But most of this fiber comes from synthetic ingredients, not grains or natural foods. That forces the body to process a load of hard-to-digest substances, sometimes causing bloating, discomfort, and overloading the gut. Europe chooses a cautious approach. If there is doubt, they tighten regulations. But in the US, this product is still classified as good for health. Many people are surprised to learn that a familiar nutrition bar does not qualify to sit on European shelves. 2. Kirkland Vegetable Oil Cooking Spray. In many American kitchens, cooking spray is seen as a helper that is both convenient and light for the body. So when seeing the Kirkland spray bottle on Costco shelves, most buyers think they are choosing a healthier solution than regular cooking oil. But if observed from a European perspective, you will see a completely different story. The problem does not lie in the oil, but in what helps it fly out of the bottle. Inside, every spray is a mixture of butane, propane, and isobutane gases. Names thought to only appear in lighters, grills, or gas tanks are now sneaking into daily meals without users being alert. To Europe, their presence is unacceptable, not out of fear, but because of a basic principle. Everything in direct contact with food must be absolutely safe. Even the zero-calorie label that sounds attractive is a subtle trick. The calorie count is calculated based on a spray lasting a quarter of a second, a movement that rarely anyone performs accurately in real life. When considering all those factors, one can understand why this product is removed from European shelves. It is not an obvious danger, but the combination of convenience, the illusion of healthiness, and overlooked ingredients is what makes regulators put an end to it. 3. Annie's Organic Bunny Fruit Snacks. In the imagination of many parents, these cute bunny-shaped gummy packets are a harmless treat for children. They are small, soft, labeled organic to create trust, and even advertised as made from real fruit juice. But that is the story on the packaging. In Europe, this product has no chance of entering the supermarket, and the reason lies in the vibrant colors that kids love. The eye-catching reds, oranges, and yellows of bunny fruit snacks come from red 40 and yellow 5. These are two artificial dyes that Europe either restricts or requires to carry a clear warning label. May have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. That is not a general precautionary statement, but a conclusion based on many studies showing a link between these dyes and hyperactivity or lack of focus in children. The word organic printed largely on the package makes buyers easily believe the whole product is clean. In reality, this certification only applies to some ingredients, while colors, flavors, and additives still fall into the group Europe considers unsuitable for young children. Furthermore, the amount of real fruit juice in the product may only be around 2%, enough to appear on the label, but not enough to be called nutritious. Many big brands like M&M's and Skittles have used natural colors in their European versions for a long time, proving it is entirely possible to create safer products. But in the US market, this formula remains unchanged. That difference is what makes Europe put an end to these seemingly harmless gummy bunnies. 4. Veggie straws. Veggie straws are a snack that tempts many people. Light, crispy, less oil than traditional potato chips, and especially bearing green, red, and yellow colors suggesting vegetables. But if you peel back that image and look at the essence, you will understand why Europe does not accept this product on their shelves. These colorful snack sticks are actually made primarily from potato starch, cornstarch, and oil, 3 ingredients far from what buyers imagine when looking at the veggie illustrations on the package. The fiber content is even less than a slice of white bread, something always considered a symbol of processed food. What makes Europe strict lies not only in the poor nutritional value, but also in how the product creates a healthy illusion. Using images of fresh vegetables to advertise a snack containing almost no real vegetables, according to them, is misleading behavior. The green that consumers perceive is just synthetic color, also a group of substances restricted by many EU countries due to health concerns. While Americans snack on veggie straws with the mindset of making a smart choice, Europeans see a prime example of marketing exceeding the truth, and that is exactly what makes them decisively say no. 5. Dave's Killer Bread. Dave's Killer Bread has long been an icon of the healthy bread line in the US. Strong packaging and a list of 21 seeds and grains, along with a series of organic certifications, make many believe they are choosing a superior product. However, under the strict lens of Europe, this energy-packed loaf brings a completely different problem. The point that gets the product removed from the EU market lies not in the quality of the grains, but in the amount of synthetic folic acid added to the formula. In the US, fortifying vitamins is a common trend, sometimes to the point of excess. But Europe applies an opposite standard: only supplement when truly necessary, and always within strict limits to ensure long-term safety. One slice of Dave's Killer Bread can provide about 25% of the daily folic acid requirement. Combined with vitamin-fortified cereals in the morning and an energy bar during the day, the amount of folic acid taken into the body easily exceeds the threshold the EU considers safe. Some studies even question the possibility of increasing cancer risk when the body absorbs too much of this synthetic form. If, to buyers in the US, this is a loaf that looks full of nutrients and extremely attractive, then, in the eyes of Europe, it is proof that too much of a good thing can sometimes become a reason to be cautious. And that perspective explains why this famous product cannot be present in their market. 6. Naked Juice Green Machine. People grab a bottle of Naked Juice Green Machine, thinking one quick drink basically resets their health. That cool green color, the long list of superfood ingredients, and all the superfood hype make it a go-to for anyone who wants to feel healthy without cooking. In Europe, though, that green glow isn't enough to hide what's really inside. Even though it's marketed as natural, it's packed with synthetic vitamins that the EU has already banned over long-term safety concerns. The real shocker? Sugar. One bottle can have more than 50 grams. That's equal to or more than a can of soda. Yeah, it's fruit sugar, but your body treats it the same. Blood sugar spike, extra work for your metabolism. The label says natural flavors, which sounds innocent, but that phrase can cover a lot of lab-processed stuff most people never think about. Even the high-pressure processing used to make it shelf-stable can destroy some of the natural enzymes you'd expect in real juice. In the US, this is a green, healthy shortcut. In Europe, it doesn't meet their strict standards for transparency and safety. Simple as that. Pause for 3 seconds and hit the subscribe button to stay updated with the latest videos. 7. Kirkland Organic Peanut Butter. Hearing organic peanut butter, many people feel instantly reassured. Just peanuts? A little salt, no additives, no sugar. What could be cleaner? But this is a product that makes Europe especially wary, not because of the formula, but because of the natural risk accompanying the ingredient itself. Peanuts, if grown and stored in hot and humid conditions, are very prone to aflatoxin contamination, a toxin produced by Aspergillus mold. This is one of the most studied substances due to its ability to cause liver damage and its link to cancer upon long-term exposure. What makes the issue more serious is that aflatoxin cannot be completely removed by cooking, roasting, or pressing for oil. If the batch of beans is contaminated, the final product almost certainly carries it. In the US, there is a threshold considered relatively safe. But Europe is different. Their limits are about 10 times stricter than the US, and their testing methods are also more rigorous, requiring testing of every batch instead of just representative sampling. A type of peanut butter that seems pure becomes a risk in the eyes of the EU, not because of the brand or the production method, but because they do not accept any level of toxin, no matter how small, especially for a food often consumed daily, sometimes by children. The popularity of peanut butter in the US makes many view it as a safe-by-default protein source. But for the EU, safety cannot rely on habit or familiarity. This product, despite bearing the friendly organic label, still does not pass the European standard barrier. 8. Kirkland Daily Multivitamins. Kirkland Daily Multivitamins are a product that many American families see as a layer of nutritional insurance. One small pill contains enough vitamins and minerals, is convenient, is easy to take, and is especially suitable for those wanting to compensate for an imperfect diet. However, to Europe, where safety standards are placed on top, this seemingly harmless vitamin bottle hides more worrying points than users think. The most controversial ingredient is titanium dioxide. In the eyes of consumers, this is just a substance helping the pill have a beautiful, bright white color. But to the EU, it is an additive no longer in the safe category due to concerns about the ability to accumulate in the body and cause DNA damage. And because of that, they have completely banned titanium dioxide in food since 2022. Besides that, quite a few pills also contain synthetic dyes and vitamin content exceeding recommended thresholds, especially when added up with fortified foods. To the US market, it is adding more to be sure. But to Europe, supplementing like that lacks control and can cause unnecessary excess risks. This very difference makes a popular product at Costco find it hard to appear on European shelves, where they believe vitamins must support health, not be allowed to bring any other risks. 9. Orgain Organic Protein Powder. Amidst a row of protein products on the shelf, Orgain Organic Protein Powder is often seen as the cleaner choice. Organic, plant-based, low sugar, and carrying an image tied to a healthy lifestyle. But Europe looks at the ingredient list and sees more question marks than plus points, and this product does not qualify to step into the EU market. Carrageenan, a thickener derived from seaweed? It sounds natural, but many studies point out the ability to cause gut inflammation and digestive system irritation. The EU has even banned carrageenan in infant formula due to long-term impact concerns. To them, natural does not equal safe, especially when that substance participates in industrial processing. Some independent tests in the US detected traces of lead, cadmium, and arsenic in plant protein powders, including some batches of Orgain. Although still within the limits allowed by the FDA, European standards are much tighter. To the EU, cumulative risk over time is something that cannot be ignored, and like many healthy US products, Orgain also uses the familiar phrase, natural flavors. This is an umbrella covering many deeply processed compounds that do not clearly show their origin. This lack of transparency makes the EU unable to accept the product as a truly pure, natural choice. Despite carrying the organic label and being marketed as a clean protein solution, Orgain still does not meet the cautious standards Europe sets for daily supplements. 10. Kirkland Greek Yogurt with Fruit. Kirkland Fruit Greek Yogurt is a dish many believe cannot be wrong. Moderately rich, high in protein, and adding fruit for a natural and healthy feeling. But when examined under European standards, where transparency and safety are placed on top, this product reveals many points making them say no. The first controversial point is the sugar content. Most of the sweetness of the product does not come from real fruit, but from high fructose corn syrup, an ingredient many EU countries have restricted due to concerns about impacts on metabolism. Along with that is the appearance of artificial dyes and preservatives, substances that make the product look more attractive but do not fit the safety standards Europe sets. Even the concept of Greek yogurt is not consistent between the two markets. In the EU, a product wanting to bear this name must be made according to the traditional fermentation and straining method, while many US versions rely on thickeners to simulate the thick texture. Finally, the amount of beneficial probiotic bacteria in US yogurt is sometimes reduced due to industrial processing, making the good for digestive system value no longer complete as users expect. So, even though familiar at Costco, this type of yogurt still does not pass the strict safety barrier of the old continent, where every good for health product must be truly good from root to tip. 11. Other fortified superfoods. In the journey to discover healthy items rejected by Europe, there is a group of products that do not stand alone but share similar problems. These are PISC, fortified superfoods, vitamin supplements, energy bars, nutrient-fortified cereals, and dishes advertised as rich in micronutrients for a busy life. Sounds attractive, but this is the group the EU is most wary of. The synthetic vitamin and mineral content far exceeds necessary levels, especially folic acid, high-dose B vitamins, or synthetic vitamin forms that Europe has restricted. The EU's philosophy is very clear. If the body doesn't need it, taking in too much becomes a burden, even creating long-term risks, especially when combined with other fortified foods. Then there are dyes and flavors. Many products in the modern superfood group rely on natural flavors to boost fruit or vegetable scents. But under the US definition, this term can include dozens of heavily processed compounds, while the EU requires much stricter natural standards. Artificial colors, from red and yellow to blue, are also the cause for many products being completely eliminated from the European market. Although advertised as clean energy, quite a few products contain amounts of sugar or sweeteners equivalent to carbonated drinks. To the EU, putting a healthy coat on a dish containing high sugar or controversial additives is unacceptable. The fortified superfood group is not eliminated because of a specific ingredient, but because of the overall formula. Too many additives, excessive micronutrient fortification, artificial colors and flavors, and processing techniques make natural values no longer complete. American users are easily drawn into promises of rich in vitamins, many benefits, while Europe chooses a slow, cautious, and transparent way. And that is the reason this whole group of products is put together in the not up to standard list right from the start. Even though advertised as green clean, good for health choices, many Costco items actually cannot pass the strict safety standards of Europe. From coloring agents, flavors, and sweeteners to synthetic micronutrients or processing methods, everything shows one thing. Not every dish labeled healthy is truly healthy, and sometimes the best thing for health is to look closer instead of believing in the packaging. Did this video help you? Subscribe and help us reach 1,000 subscribers.